Hello and welcome to another edition of Toys from the Attic. Once again, I have my box of Rock Lords. So let's open her up and see who we're going to take a look at today. Alright, it's going to be Magmar. So without further ado, let's take a closer look at this. His domineering personality and physical strength make him a fearful presence to all but the most brave. Magmar lives to conquer his home planet of Cortex, and his favorite activity just so happens to be combat. Wielding his deadly axe rifle with great accuracy, he is able to scatter both rocks and pebbles alike. His rock type is igneous, which is one of the three most common rock types that are formed from the cooling of magma. Magmar, also known as Devil Rock in Japan, is the most evil and cunning of all the Rock Lords. Okay. Alright, so here we have Magmar. Now a lot of you are probably thinking the same thing I'm thinking. Man, he has a square, blocky look. Compared to the other Rock Lords that had this more organic shape to them, or odd or unusual, they just seem more interesting. He just seems kind of lackluster in his shape. It's just definitely square, especially if you look at him from certain angles. There's not much to it. He looks more like he's something carved out of nature, or man-made, with all these straight lines. Except for this side. This side looks actually more like it's the side that sticks out and faces the world if he was going to be on like a cliff face or something. This one seems like the one that actually is meant to blend in with other stuff, as opposed to the rest of them. Another sad thing that I have to say about this guy is he doesn't have any of the swirling patterns like the other Rock Lords did. If you've seen my video on Boulder or Sticks and Stones, they had these swirling patterns that made him feel like they're made up of all these different minerals. He just actually kind of looks like he's dirt or a dirt clod. I feel if you were to put this guy in a pile of dirt, you would easily lose him or not see him if you were just glancing over. It actually makes me kind of surprised I haven't lost this guy over the years. But anyways, let's go on to his transformation. Now for that, you just pull his legs down like this, and he's almost done. Very simple. Next thing you do is you just pull his shoulders forward. That does give him this really interesting back here, kind of gives him this hunched back look. I just think it's something that's kind of neat and adds to his character in his I want to say robot mode, but in his transformed state. The next thing you do now is you pull his arms down like this. Let me see if I can get these because they're a little bit stiff. I haven't transformed these guys in a while. Let me see if I can get this one down here. Ah, there we go. Finally. I was afraid I was going to break it or something. And the last thing you do is you move his face up like this. And that's pretty much it. There's not really too much his transformation. Now, like most toys of the 80s, his articulation is very limited. His elbows can kind of move back and forth like this if you want to consider that an extra feature of the articulation. But mainly they move up and down. He has some nice little elbow articulation right here, but because of his rockier exterior and his shape, it's very limited. His legs can move up and down like this, and his knees can kind of bend backwards like this if you want to pretend like he broke his leg or something. But there's not really much to it. I mean, he's either going to be standing or sitting with his legs out straight like this. Design-wise, as far as his character goes, he has these interesting little vents on his shoulder. I don't exactly know what they do. They never really stayed in the show, but to me that just leaves it up to the imaginations for kids. You can do a lot with these things. It also has this neat little mohawk on the top. I always loved that about this guy, and that's what endeared him to my heart, actually. Reminded me kind of like the Mr. T of the transforming figures. Pity the fool. Now his face has this weird green alien, it almost looks alien-esque. There's something out of Roswell. It's kind of creepy. But because of that, his elbow coloring, these little colorings on his shins and on the inside of his legs, it almost makes me think that that's more the organic portion of these characters, and then the rocky exterior is just that, like an exterior of armor or something that they would wear. But other than that, he's still a pretty cool character. He's definitely a lot more interesting in his transformed state than he is in his rock mode. Now, one more thing I have to commend Tonka about for these guys over Hasbro is the size comparison between characters and characters. Let me take a look at Boulder here and compare their sizes. They're roughly the same height. They actually look like they belong in the same line, and that's the way throughout all the figures. If you look at Hasbro's lines of Transformers, their size range is all over the place. You might have a character that's supposed to be the tallest member of the group, but yet he's made into the shortest action figure. And yeah, I know that cost-wise or other stuff, but still, with all the different classes that they have, you would think that they would want to maybe get a little bit more size accurate, especially in the older lines. I think Megatron was at least a good 2 or 3 inches taller than Optimus, where in the show they were roughly the same size. So I do have to recommend that the I wanted to say GoBots line, although they are GoBots, but the Rock Lords line definitely did seem to keep a good scale between all the characters. Anyways, this has been a look at the evil Magmar. Once again, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed what you've seen today, please feel free to like, subscribe, or leave a comment below in the comment section. Any advice for the show will be greatly appreciated. Who knows, something you suggest may appear on the show in the future.